Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to share my screen. And again, we apologize for the issues. My name is Lori Stein, and I am a SCORE volunteer. And thank you all for attending our workshop this afternoon presented by RevLocal. The title is Psychology of Consumer Behavior. How does your customer find you? Before we get started, I just wanted to go through a few housekeeping items. Everyone is currently muted. To ask a question, please use the chat box or the Q&A, and I will monitor those for Jonathan, and just we'll slide those in at convenient points during the presentation. The slide presentation and the workshop recording will be sent to all registered participants after the workshop today. And you will also receive a questionnaire or survey that we would appreciate you filling out, because this helps us to get better. And hopefully, I'm sure the issues we're having this morning hopefully will not show up on there, but please take a few minutes to do that. That would be very helpful. So again, this is presented by RevLocal. Just a quick introduction on SCORE. We are a nonprofit organization, and we are a resource partner of the SBA. We are 100% volunteer based, and we really have two main focus areas. The first one is one-on-one mentoring, which is provided by experienced business owners and executives. And I'll get into more of that at the end of the workshop. And the second main area of focus is our educational workshops, which we have a full calendar of workshops that you can access on our website, and you can actually register through our website, and that information will be shared at the end of the presentation as well. So without further ado, I would like to just briefly introduce Jonathan. Jonathan, as I said, is with RevLocal. He is East Regional Vice President. Just to give a little bit on his bio, he has close to 15 years of digital marketing experience. He joined RevLocal in March of 2017, and he quickly found his passion for supporting and partnering with business owners on their digital marketing efforts. Over the last 4 years, Jonathan, along with his teammates, have created 10 new markets in the Carolinas. And he currently leads around 60 digital marketing consultants across the Midwest, East, and Southeast to help them navigate the ever-changing digital world. RevLocal has been on a mission to revolutionize the local marketing industry since 2010. And today they are proud to be trusted industry leader in local search marketing. RevLocal provides personalized digital marketing solutions to many thriving local businesses and multi-location brands across the U.S. With that being said, I would like to introduce Jonathan, and he will lead us in the workshop over the next 45 minutes or so.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lori. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. There we go.
All right. All right. I'm hoping everybody can see my screen right now.
Yes.
Cool. Great. Well, let's go ahead and play this slide presentation. All right. So just to kind of start out, what I'd love to see, if you guys could, in the chat, I'd love to kind of see the industries that you guys are responsible for, that you work in. So I can kind of maybe try to make this a little bit more relevant to you guys as we start to talk about consumer journeys. And as Lori, really kindly, put out there a little bit about my bio. I've been doing digital for a long time. I've seen a lot of different things. And so I'm hoping that I can leave a good bit of time left in this call for a little bit of FAQs, and then I'll turn it over to Lori. So I already see the chat is blowing up. We got holistic energy healing. Can you send some of that positive energy to me, Jenny, as I'm mumbling over my words? Higher education. Amber, I love to hear that. My wife actually works for Clemson, director of admissions there. We got manufacturing, exterior shutters. Cool. Okay. Love this. Thank you guys so much for already being involved. So a little bit about what we're going to try to accomplish today is we're trying to figure out two things. How does your customer find you? And / what does that journey look like? And then it's my hope that we can kind of talk about, what that might look like for you guys specifically in some cases. So with that being said, I'm going to move forward with the presentation, which is all the places you'll go. You guys probably remember the book, right? All the places, you'll go, and it talks about, it's a Dr. Seuss book for those that maybe haven't read it yet. And it talks about all the length of the journey, the pursuit of what you're trying to chase in life. And I think in a lot of ways, it's paralleled with the journey and the pursuit that a consumer might have for anything from higher education. What schools do I want to choose? Who has maybe the major that I want to get after, to what's the difference between this kind of shutter and that kind of a shutter, and who should I choose from a manufacturing side of things. That journey is not linear, and how people will find you is not going to be the same. A lot of people that I talk to, they talk about referrals and word of mouth, and they say, well, I get 90% of my business from word of mouth. I want you guys to know right off the bat, this is coming from a longtime marketer in the country. Word of mouth and referrals are the best kind of marketing that you could ever have, because number one, it tells you you're doing a good job. And number two, it comes at the right acquisition cost, right? So I want to make sure you guys know I'm 100% a believer of that. What I also believe in, though, is being able to diversify where your leads are coming from, and making sure that you don't just rely on your customers for your customer base. The other thing is, how do I make sure that I'm intentional with the customer journey on specific products or services that I offer, right? Because the fact is sometimes you have higher profit margin services or products that you want to promote more of, and your customers don't always push those things. You can, right? And so how do we do that from a digital perspective? So we're going to talk about some of those things. So this is kind of a blurry picture, but hopefully it still gets the point across. This is an example of what a customer journey might look like for you, right? That first step, you can kind of see that they might have a need pop up. That customer might have a need. They may say, hey, I am stuck at my career and I need to go to higher education and make sure that I'm putting myself in a position to get a promotion. So that need comes up, or it's an inspiration, right? I saw someone's beautiful exterior of their home. I said, those shutters are really pretty. And it maybe got me thinking. And maybe it was an ad on social media, or it was a post, or it was just word of mouth. That can come from anything. It could even be, my wife reaching out to me saying, hey, hon, I want to change XYZ in the house, right? Then the second thing is your business is going to appear in an online search result that they're looking for. They're going to type in colleges near me, or MBA programs near me, or, best shutters, something like that. And there's really 3 parts of Google that you'll want to really, really make sure that you know about. And we'll go over that. After and this is all the awareness phase, right? The last part of the awareness phase is they may look at your reviews and see how you rank against other businesses. So I always ask people, are you willing to bet that if someone put you and 3 other businesses or 2 other businesses out there online, are you the most obvious choice? In other words, do you have the most reasons why someone would choose you over your competitors? If the answer isn't unequivocally yes, then it's really important to start to take a look at that customer journey, because if you wouldn't even unequivocally maybe choose your business because of how you look, why would someone else? Why would a potential customer who maybe doesn't know you? Those are the things we really have to have a gut check on as business owners, of saying it's okay to have that moment of truth, but then knowing where to go and how do I fix those issues? Because these are all things customers are going to think and wonder. I would rather, as a business owner, be successful because I asked the tough question than to just not ask it because I don't want to hurt my own feelings. Number 4, so starting to get into the consideration, right? So awareness is all hey, like things are being brought to me, ideas, need is brought up magically. Then it's consideration. Now I'm starting to look for solutions, right? Who am I considering to work with? That first step within consideration is the customer is going to visit, your digital storefront. That could be a website, it could be a microsite, it could be your social media page. Lots of different digital storefronts out there, but that is absolutely a logical step. Almost think, as you're hearing us talk about this customer journey, almost think about a vacation that you're planning or that you've been on recently, and think about how you planned that vacation, right? You're probably you've got a need at that point or an inspiration to take a vacation. You're gonna check that business out on Google. Then you're gonna look at reviews to make sure you don't go to the wrong sushi restaurant in Florida, right? And then you're gonna go to their website. What's their menu say? What do the pictures look like on social media, right? Step 5 under consideration, your business gets retargeted, right? As the customer browses social media. So maybe now that customer is still looking, right? And all of a sudden an ad pops up right there on the middle of their Facebook or on weatherchannel.com. And it reminds them why they were recommending to go to that specific place. Okay. So think digital billboard, right? Is what that retargeted effort means, right? Chasing them around the internet. We've all probably been on Amazon or shopping for shoes or something like that. And the next thing you know, you see it on the internet and you're like, that's kind of scary and stalkerish. That's intentional. And we do those things too as a business. It's because consumers need to see things about 7 to 12 times now a days to be able to remember a brand when they have a need or want. The last place of consideration is display ads. So think like retargeting customers that are visiting other websites. So this is really where you can actually be where your customers are and be intentional with those ads. Moving on to conversions, right? So now like you've thrown yourself at, like you've been searched, your topic, your industry's been searched. Now you're starting to build a pipeline. You're putting yourself out in front of them more and more so that they don't forget you. And then there's a conversion, right? That customer is going to research your product or service, right? They may look a little bit more detailed on organic search results, best higher education places for, in South Carolina, something like that. And then they're actually going to be driven right to your website to have a result, right? That could be a form submission. That could be a phone call. That could be, an appointment scheduled. Lots of different ways to have conversions, but that's what we're looking for after consideration. Conversions cannot happen easily without effective awareness and consideration, right? This is all kind of going in order and flow of that customer journey. The last step is purchase, right? So like now they're giving you money, right? They're giving you their credit card, they're giving you cash. There is a transfer of funds because you've convinced them at this point that you are unequivocally the best option for them. Hopefully it's unequivocally, right? Sometimes, begrudgingly, because maybe it's my HVAC went out, or maybe because there wasn't a better option. Sometimes we win business because we're lucky, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong to credit luck to business. We just hope that it's rare that it's luck, right? That we have intentionality. We're being successful because we're intentional, but sometimes that journey for a customer, they just got to us by luck. And then the last piece is what I told you is the absolute best form of marketing, which is referrals and word of mouth, right? You gave them a great experience, right? You got them through that master program or that college degree, and then they went home to their college, to their town, and they said Clemson is the absolute best place to be, or, Wofford or whatever, right? That is the customer journey in a very quick, 10-minute nutshell. So you can start to see it's really complicated. What you guys might see, and I hope you guys can see my mouse, but what you might see is someone might be on the edge of conversion and something happens, right? Maybe they get a referral. Maybe they got more qualified information on what they need, and it takes them right back to consideration. There's interferences, with this flow of a customer journey. And a lot of people, business owners, don't think about that. But it's not just a process that just moves this way. It can also move backwards and then go forward again. So there's some leapfrogging that can happen with that customer journey. And that's why it's important to understand, how do I make sure when that leapfrog's happening, or when they go backwards, how do I loop them back into top of funnel from a pipeline perspective? So, all right. So we're gonna go through some of the different ways that people might find you, right? So that customer journey. This is I live in Greenville, South Carolina, specifically Simpsonville. So I'm going to use the upstate in a lot of these examples. And I really am just using the same search, but on different platforms, because I think there's probably a lot of us on this call where we've locked ourselves out of our car or house, apartment, whatever it is. That's not fun. Now, if you have AAA, you've got a leg up on this conversation. But if you don't, this might be a search you do, right? So you might go to Google. You might say, hey, best locksmith, Greenville, South Carolina. When you do that, you're going to get a search that's very similar to this. So that search is going to have, the first part of Google is the ads side of things, right? So you might see ads in boxes, or you might say where it just says ad, and then it's got a lot of words, right? Those are ads, and they're targeting this keyword and then also this location, right? They're targeting those two things. I call them, our company calls them targeted ads, because they are targeting the industry and keyword plus the location, okay? They're trying to win a specific area. The second part of Google is what we call local search, right? This is a local search intent. Someone is looking for a locksmith in Greenville, South Carolina. Google wants to give them the result that speaks most relevant to what they're looking for. So you can see there's a bunch of little dots here that are representing all the locksmiths in the area, okay? So we have, you can see there's reviews here. I could see years in the business, hours of operations, even snippets of reviews. So when we start to think about snippets of reviews, right, that's why, like, one of the many reasons why reviews are important. And then also you might see something, a snippet from their website, right? It's even pulling in snippets of their website. If your website's really good, you're going to actually have snippets of your website pulled into Google search results. But there's three options you'll typically see here, okay? And ASAP Locksmith is one, ABC Locksmith, and then Greenville Locksmith. ABC Locksmith has the most reviews and the second best star rating, but a 4.8. So you're not going to have too much issue with that. But those are things that consumers look at. The third part of Google is organic SEO. Okay. Organic SEO is all about optimizing your website so that you show up better in SERP. SERP is an industry word that stands for search engine results, right? So showing up better in the search engine results, regardless of the search engine. Organic SEO is much more about showing up in a wide range of words, keywords, but also taking out location. So we have prospects and clients that say, hey, I don't just want to show up in Greenville. I want to show up in Travelers Rest. And if you are a business like that, or a higher education business would be a great example, or a manufacturer of shutters, you probably don't just want to show up in a high concentrated area. You might want to show up all over. Organic SEO is the tool. It's the vehicle that helps you show up in a further radius. Jenny is in Simpsonville too. Cool. Awesome. I'm near Five Forks. So maybe we can talk after this and talk about how crazy Simpsonville is growing. And then and feel free, Lori, to chime in on anything I'm missing here. I've got personal trainer, real estate agent. Cool. Spanish language professional, eat, breathe, and sleep languages. Christine, I don't even know English well, so you're probably going to make fun of me on this. So love the involvement and just getting to know you guys on this. So again, three parts of Google: targeted ads. It's targeting a keyword, a location. It could be real estate, it could be trainer, and then insert location. That's what targeted ads is meant for. It's the first part of Google. Second part of Google, it's that local search map, right? Local intent. Someone is looking for a real estate agent in Greenville, South Carolina. Okay. Now they're trying to choose which one's the best. Last part of Google, organic SEO, right? Now I'm looking for, it's taking maybe local intent out and I'm trying to win multiple areas, right? Think of it almost as a monopoly board on Google. It's not a bad thing to win every single one of these areas. It's actually a very healthy thing that will help your business be more profitable and successful. So questions I get all the time, which one do I want to win the most? The answer is all three. Which one should I prioritize first? I tell people it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're saying, hey, my business, I don't need to win in any area except Simpsonville, then local search is going to be king or queen for you. That's where you need to win. If you say, hey, I need to win, like, yeah, my business is in Simpsonville, but I really need to win in Greer and Powdersville and Clemson and in the mountains, then all of a sudden you're probably going to hear more, not just about local search, but it'll also be organic SEO plus targeted ads. Because local search is only really up to a 25-mile radius, and that is dependent on how big your industry is, how competitive your industry is. If you're in insurance or real estate, where there's one on every block, or maybe 5 on every block, you're probably going to only get a few miles out of that. Versus if you're a shutters manufacturer, you probably can win that 25-mile radius if you have the right partner to help you succeed, right? The other thing to think about this, when you think of a business showing up and the results and things like that, it takes time, okay? This does not happen overnight. I wish I had the magic pill for you to take and say, all right, this is going to make me the biggest, baddest business in the world if I take this. The answer is we are not miracle workers, but what we do is we are experts. We know how to influence the consumer path and that psychology behind consumers because we know what they're looking for. At the same time, we know how to speak to Google so that you can show up better, right? And these are some of those tips that we're giving you today, but it's not an overnight process. It just takes time. How much time? It's a question I get a lot too. A long time. For some businesses, it's not a long time. I tell people 3 to 6 months is a healthy start to be able to see where you're trending, right? If nothing's happening in 3 to 6 months, you start to think, is this worth it? If you're starting to see a trend in those first 3 to 6 months where there's positive momentum, that's a good sign. That means keep trying it because good things are going to follow from there. We typically tell people 12 months is a really healthy time frame for them to give digital marketing a chance, right? It does work. It's just about the partner and the expectations. And so you could start to see, when we talk about time frames, competitiveness, things like that, those are all relevant indicators of what your expectation is from a time frame turnaround. All right, so this is another search, right? So people don't just start on Google. We know statistically about 25% of people leverage Microsoft products nationally. So if that's the case, Bing is a search engine that you still want to use and you still want to win. I have people that I know today that use Bing and they use it accidentally or on purpose. They may not know the difference. So Bing is still a relevant search engine. Now, how is Bing different from Google, right? First off, obviously owned by a different company. Second, they actually integrate with other places for their reviews. They don't have their own review platform per se. So you can see they might pull from actually Facebook. They might pull from Yelp. They might pull from other places. Okay. So it's important to know. And again, the 3 areas that you saw in Google, targeted ads, local search, and organic SEO are on Bing and they're also on Yahoo. Okay, they're on Bing and Yahoo as well. That doesn't change. So you're starting to see different platforms, but the customer journey and where they may land, very similar. And how you influence it as a marketer is very similar. Now, where it gets complicated on Google versus Bing versus Yahoo is all the back-end options. What I do on Google on the back end for my business owners and my clients, completely, and a lot of times completely different than Bing and Yahoo, because I'm allowed to have different preferences on Bing and Yahoo than I am Google. So there's a lot of personalization that you can capitalize on the back end for Bing and Yahoo that Google doesn't allow, and vice versa. So knowing that is the difficulty. Like, what can I do on Bing and Yahoo? How can I make sure that I maximize my presence on each of those places? That's where working with a company like ours typically is helpful, or at least meeting with someone like me can give you some good insight. Best locksmith Greenville SC on Yahoo. Again, same search all around. And now you're seeing it pull from Yelp. So Yahoo's pulling from a different search engine, right? It's pulling from Yelp. And so a lot of us in Greenville, we're like, who cares about Yelp for a locksmith? Now we're starting to see how all of these search engines work together and are pulling and aggregating information to give customers different answers. Okay. And what's funny is, like, you can see ABC and AAA have check marks next to them. Joy Locksmith does not, right? Why? There's a lot of different things that are happening to influence these results. And we manage the back end of these sites to make sure that you are certified. But if you're not certified, right, what does that mean for your business? Does that hurt how well you show up, right? Not necessarily Joy Locksmith there, but is there a reason why they're third versus ABC's first? Yeah, there's some tangible reasons. Okay. One of the things to note that I would just show you guys is notice who is winning these searches. There's a commonality here, right? It's not by accident. ABC Locksmith on Bing, ABC Locksmith on Yahoo. I think they were also right here, right? ABC Locksmith right here. There's a common string. And then you're going to even go to Yelp, Yelp itself, and then you see ABC again in the top 3, right? Yelp is a search engine that people are using more and more. Why does the upstate of South Carolina care about Yelp? That's a question I see more and more. It's because we have more and more people moving here, right? Whether we like it or not, Greenville in the upstate is not a well-kept secret. We live in a destination place, and I'm okay with that. And the reason for it, number one, it's going to bring better restaurants. Let's face it. We need better restaurants, more diversity. But number two, it's because it brings different people from different backgrounds that are going to make businesses better, right? And what I mean by that is, Yelp is actually used more in big cities in California than it is here currently. But when you have people that are bringing over their old customer journey and the old way of them doing things, they're going to now search more on Yelp because they're from California and they're moving here, right? So if you're not finding your channel, if you're not creating content, if you're not making sure you have a presence here, you're only hurting yourself. So don't always think, how do I search? You have to be constantly thinking, how do my potential customers search? And how is that changing? What does that look like a year from now? It's not going to be linear. If you don't continue to think about how it's changing, you're going to get behind at some point.
Jonathan, a couple questions have come in.
Yeah.
One from Kristen Meyer. Does that mean if you have your clients give reviews on Google that you are screwing yourself on other platforms, or will they also pull from Google?
Awesome. Kristen, really good question. So when it comes to Google, Google is still the number one place for people to leave reviews. Okay. And the reason why is because people oftentimes go to Google to validate the business. So even if the customer journey has me starting at Facebook, because I just saw those really cute, that really cool, pair of shoes or cute shorts and top, I'm still might go to Google to validate that that is a credible business that I can trust. Right now, the problem is now we just have so many other places to see reviews. So I can also see reviews on Facebook now too, right? Or Yelp or Yahoo or Bing. So, but I'm going to go to Google to validate that more times than not. Okay. So you're not going to screw yourself if you get Google reviews. In fact, I would tell you, if there was one place for you to choose reviews or where to get them, it would be Google. And the second place would be Facebook and Instagram, as long as you're interactive there. Thanks, Lori, for stopping me. Don't hesitate.
No,
Keep the questions
no problems. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. We're caught up.
Cool. Yep. And keep the questions coming, like I said. All right. So again, you can see ABC Locksmith right there. They're showing up consistently. And by the way, when you see the same business name over and over and over again as you're going through this customer journey, what is it doing for this potential customer? It's in a weird way, it's telling them ABC, ABC, ABC. It's telling them where to go, right? They may not be thinking it, but if you've seen Coca-Cola commercials 10 times over Pepsi, where are you going to go when you need a soda or a pop, depending on what part of the country you're in, right? You're going to go Coca-Cola because you've seen it 10,000 times recently. It's the same thing you're trying to do with along this customer journey. Okay, that is the psychology of a consumer. All right, now we're in Facebook, right? People might go to Facebook. They might type in, hey, best locksmith in Greenville, SC. Again, another place someone can search. You've got options here. And look, again, another search, ABC Locksmith right there open. They've got other options, but you're still thinking, okay, I've seen ABC again for the 5th time now. Something seems different, right? So I'm going to pause here for a second, right? Because we've just talked about how the consumer might search on all these different platforms and all these different ways. And on top of that, what is subtly happening as they're searching, right? Are they looking at reviews? Where are they looking at reviews at, right? On top of that, how many times are they seeing your brand, your business consistently along that journey? And then, by the way, ABC Locksmith, you guys probably guessed this already. They actually are a client of mine, right? Cindy, great client. So if you do get yourself locked out, tell her that RevLocal helped you helped you find her. But the reason why it's important to note is because you can be successful too, right? Whether it's with us, RevLocal as a partner, you need someone. It's not always RevLocal, right? There's plenty of really good partners out there. We're not the right fit for everybody, but find someone, even if it's a conversation with someone like me that can tailor you or put you in the right direction. That is an important part of this, because you guys as business owners, you're really great at higher education or real estate or, insert whatever you guys do. What maybe doesn't always come second nature is thinking outside of your scope, right? From a digital marketing perspective, that's where we could provide a second opinion. So again, I promised you guys we've got about 10-ish minutes left before I want to turn it to Lori. So I wanted to make sure, to me, the most important part of the presentation is questions that I can answer. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I'm going to turn it to you guys so that you guys can ask questions about what's going on in your world and what you want to know about a customer journey, so I can make it relevant for you. And I think, anyone have questions right off the bat? And feel free, if you wanted to put them in the chat, I can easily read them and ask them. What about email nurture campaigns for the journey? Kristen, so when it comes to email campaigns, our company actually does it. We call them drip campaigns, right? Which is another data point. The problem with email campaigns is your open rate on average, industry, like email open rates on average are going to get like about 2% is average. And so when you think about that, 2% average, that kind of sucks, excuse my language. And so we actually think that email is not the most effective way to nurture opportunities. What we would recommend is what we call brand expander ads, or Google display ads or retargeting ads. Those are better ways to nurture that customer throughout that journey. So you might actually see that on the weatherchannel.com, right? So I can pull up a quick example so you guys can see this. Let's see if it pulls up here real quick. Here we go. I'm going to share this with you guys. Share my screen again. Hopefully you guys can see it. This is an example of like an ad that's popping up, right? So my wife and I are trying to plan a vacation with my parents, and we've actually been on VRBO recently. So they're targeting me specifically because they know that we're trying to plan a vacation. They don't want me to forget. And living in South Carolina in August, we know we get crazy storms. It's a place I'm going to go to a lot. Okay. Another place I might go to is like a sporting website or like Fox News or CNN, right? Whatever it is. But you guys will know that you'll see ads here, right? All the time. These are called display ads. And I'm actually looking for a new car. I've recently done a new search there. So I'm going to actually stop my sharing. But the reason why I'm showing you that is because this is a better way to nurture your consumers that are relevant searchers, right? People that have typed out what you do and what you're looking for from a consumer perspective. It reminds them that you're there as an option. So it can be effective, Kristen. Is it the most effective? No. And is that what's more effective? It would be Google Display Network. So websites that have partnered with Google, which are thousands of them, to be able to help get your brand out there to the right people.
And there was another question. How much does it cost to increase my visibility in Google?
How much does it cost to increase my visibility in Google? There is a lot of ways to go with that answer. If you're going with a marketer, like someone that, I'll start with, if you're doing it yourself, you could do it for free. There are absolutely reasons and ways that you should just start out with yourself and see what you can accomplish yourself. Okay. I've always said, like the best help is your help and doing it yourself for free. And then you can say, okay, let's build on that. Now, if you wanted to run ads by yourself, Google actually gives you $500 of credit to run ads. So that's a great way to play with it. Super complicated. Make sure that you're putting restrictions on and cutting yourself off at $500 because it could go fast if you do not do those things. Okay, it's a dangerous world to get into, and you could rack up a credit bill that way. If you're working with a company like ours, we start the local SEO side of things at around $319 a month. And so when you think about it, it's less than $10 a day. So it's basically like a coffee, Starbucks coffee, and you can get there. Would that be the same for online business and digital ads? So I think, Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong, you're probably talking about e-commerce. E-commerce is way more expensive. E-commerce is probably the most expensive and most complicated customer journey. And it's the most expensive because your business is completely online. When your business is completely online, the only way people are going to know about you is if you actually market online, because you don't have a storefront or anything else. So I would tell you, and you don't really care about local traffic per se. You would like to maximize it, but you don't care about it as much because your customer can get you anywhere. So it's really vital that you spend a good amount of money. When you talk about e-commerce, depending on what you're selling, you're really going to want to talk about or start to think about, is my product a need or is my product a want, right? I need clothing, or I need food, or I need shelter. Okay, those are all needs. So that might be more Google heavy. Anything that is like want heavy, I think more like bougie food or things that, or it's cool grill accessories. Like anything that is just more of like, I would love that versus I would need that. It's more Facebook. It's more social driven, social campaigns. If people aren't searching for things, then you need to create the need. You need to create that inspiration. Going back to that customer journey, you've got to create the inspiration. And that's only going to happen on social media channels. I hope I answered that question for you, Lynn. Good questions coming so far for this group.
Yes.
Anything else? Does social media help SEO? 100% yes, yes, yes. So the more that you post, the better that your SEO can be, as long as, with the caveat, as long as it's backlinked properly in multiple different ways. So we help organic SEO on our end and local SEO. And one of the things we always preach is backlinking and successfully leveraging your digital or your social campaigns, right? So we have widgets and things like, everything that you would expect a company, an elite premier partner of Google to have, we leverage, but that does not always mean that companies do it the right way. So you just have to be cautious of that and kind of knowing what you should look for. Again, a lot of that's going to be exposure and awareness, right? So you should be able to see how many impressions and how much exposure, how many new customers am I getting in front of and driving visibility, to tell you if it's being leveraged, if your social is being leveraged right. Now, if you're not posting consistently on social, that's not a good thing. And so that could cause some complications. But just in general, yes, it should help SEO as long as you're backlinking properly. Len, you said, yeah, it's a faith-based children's books. I'd love to learn a little bit more. I've got a 2.5-year-old, almost 2.5-year-old and a 6-month-old baby. So I'm always looking for good books to read to them at night, because they want to read the same books every night, and I don't like that. So, Christine, thanks for sharing the social media piece. I have my social media handled on my handles on my website. Good. So when they click, it sends them to my pages. That's awesome, Christine. Something else to think about is, could you potentially have a widget of your Instagram post on your website? That's just like how my brain works. Like, how can I continue to take iterations and make my website that much better? Let's see, Jenny. Is there a place to learn how to properly select the best keywords for your SEO when you're doing this by yourself? The quick answer is leverage Google, like Google searches. So just type out, like, be very brief, type something, and then see what Google says. Okay. The other place you could do is Google Insights. I don't know if anybody's leveraged Google Insights at all, but you could actually go to Google Insights itself and find keywords, and it can tell you what the volume of searches is. So I don't want to get too far into the weeds on the product side of things, but there is a program or a product from Google called Google Insights, Jenny, that can help you out with that. Kristen, when I Uber suggests none of my social links come up, backlinks, perhaps I need to look at how I connect it better. Yeah, Kristen, SEO is a super complicated beast. No one on this call, including myself, is an expert because it changes every moment. I would tell you, we're students of the game, even at our level. We have something like I could call someone in our company right now and we can get answers, but it is so complicated. It's even hard for me to keep up with every single change. So don't feel too bad about that. That's where a company like ours can help you when you're really saying, hey, this is important for me in my business, I have to win it. When it's that important, you probably need to come to a company like ours. Cool. Answer the public is a great one. Awesome. Love that you guys are giving each other some answers. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, and this is what this is what SCORE does, in my opinion, so well, Lori, you and your team, is we kind of make small, medium-sized businesses a community, because we are, right? We do the most difficult things in the world. We take a chance and a risk that very few people are willing to take, and it's on ourselves, and it's to help the community. And so the more that you guys can give to each other and make it a community, the better. So sometimes these questions can also be answered, besides me, like going to Facebook groups. There's like Greenville Business, something or another. There's groups like that you can ask questions to on what they do and what works for them. So just some other ideas of like how to get some answers besides relying on just one or two people. Anything else before we turn it to Lori? I know I've talked a million miles a minute.
Very, very helpful. Very helpful.
Cool. All right. Well, Lori, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Okay. Okay. Oops. Let's see here. Sorry, as far as my sharing here, let's see. Okay. Again, Jonathan, thank you so much. Another very successful workshop by RevLocal, always very informative, short and sweet, but a lot of information shared. So we do appreciate your you always willing to give these workshops. So thank you again. And I just want to briefly just touch on SCORE, some of the things that we do have to offer. If I can get okay, here we go. If you need additional assistance, SCORE services are free and local. You can get personal, confidential, one-on-one access to expertise that is right for your situation. We have business executives. If they can't answer your questions, they will pull in other SCORE volunteers that have that expertise and co-mentor you. So there are a lot of resources. Our website is down here at the bottom, piedmontscore.org, and you can sign up for a mentor, or you can look at the workshops that we offer. There's a calendar, and you can register for the workshops directly from that calendar. There's also, resources that you can access. And through our YouTube, you can follow us on YouTube. We have all our past workshops that we've recorded that are also can be of assistance. You can just search on the different topics. So very helpful. So if you are in need of a mentor, please visit our website, and I will share this presentation so you can access this information. We also are in need of, I don't know, I am having some, here we go, volunteers. So if you're interested in volunteering, there's also on our website, you can click to register to be a volunteer. SCORE is the nation's largest network of volunteers and business mentors with over 10,000 volunteers and 270 plus chapters. Our volunteers are not only mentors, but we're workshop presenters and moderators, social media experts, and communication experts. And so really, if you have any expertise and you are interested in volunteering, please visit the website and sign up, because we are always in need. Okay. And again, here are our social media sites, and I will share this this presentation so you can link to us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then our latest broadcasts are on YouTube. So this will all be shared. Okay, and just finally, we are powered by SBA. We are a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Small Business Administration. All opinions, conclusions, and or recommendations expressed herein are those of the author and do not necessarily reflect the views of the SBA. Just a slight disclaimer there. So that is it. Jonathan, anything else that you would like to add?
No, thank you guys so much for being active, great participants. I really appreciate it. And if there's anything else that you guys need, you guys can always look me up, reach out to me via email. I am really busy. I run the East Coast for our company. We're going through a lot of change right now, but I promise to always circle back or just continue to nudge me. I'll answer. But you guys are a priority. You guys are in my backyard, and I want to make sure that we're making the upstate a better place for you, a better place for consumers, and the better place for families all over. So thank you so much, Lori, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
And also, so I will be sending again the recording, the presentation, and you will also receive a survey. So please take a few minutes to complete that, just to help us make things better. And if there are specific workshops that you feel would be beneficial, feel free to give us that information as well. Because again, we are here to serve you all, and it's only through your feedback that we can make things better. So thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll see you again on another workshop. And Jonathan, thank you very, very much. It was very helpful.
Thanks, Lori, for getting us involved.
Okay.
We really appreciate you.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you. Bye.